Today on the show, it's a 2-in-1. We're going to be talking about Action Comics issue 1000 and the upcoming Old Woman Laura story. You know, sometimes something is taken from you in life and you want it back, and other people need it back as well, and they can't see how important it is to them, but it looks like it's never going to come back, and you keep preaching to people that it has to come back and they're just not listening to you. But I'm really happy I get to sit here today and say, Superman's getting his briefs back. In all fairness, this costume design does feature aspects of the newer costume designs over the years, and I actually like it. It's a really modern take on brief-wearing Superman. So if you don't know, as of issue number 1000, Superman's getting a new costume, and it was just unveiled. The art is by Jim Lee. That's all I can really say on this story, other than I'm really happy and I'm really excited. I mean, if you've been watching me since, I think, 2014 when I did the Batman Eternal series, in every single episode of that series that I did about 10 episodes of, really didn't stick to it, but I only did 10 episodes of that series, but in every single episode I really vented about wanting those briefs. Like, I just really wanted those briefs on Superman, and now they're back. The thing about these characters that people don't realize is that Superman isn't just a character, he's a symbol. And so the S on his chest is just as important as those briefs. And people forget that. And also, just throwing it out there, in terms of aesthetics, it really does help to break up the costume. I mean, that's been my big issue with all of Superman's costumes since 2011. They're not broken up enough. He ends up just looking like a sock. Well, let's break it up a bit. Let's split it in the middle. And that's what the briefs do. And a belt isn't enough. It's not big enough. I will admit his best costume since the New 52 was his Rebirth costume, but the belt in it was kind of too detailed. It was really inconsistent. So the briefs are just easier and I think look better. I do just want to address some things that people are saying in regards to the briefs. I have noticed a lot of these comments come from what appear to be newer readers, so just hear me out here. First of all, a lot of people are saying, Superman looks goofy like that. Yeah, have you ever read a comic with Clark Kent in it? Last I checked, he's not that cool of a character. Superman shouldn't be cool, he shouldn't be slick, he shouldn't be awesome, he should just be Superman. You've got this hyper-muscular, really attractive dude that can literally do the impossible. Give him a visual flaw to ground him, because honestly, if his costume is too cool, he's not human. I mean, I know he's like Kryptonian, but you know what I mean. You can limit his powers all day long to try and make him seem more human, but ultimately it's Superman. You know his powers are going to go right back to where they were before. So you need to give him a visual flaw and make that visual flaw consistent. The most human you can ever read Superman is in All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. He's actually wearing the briefs in that, and Superman in this story, both visually and in personality, is so amazing. He's like a friend. It's like you're reading a story about a friend, and I can't recommend that story enough. But visually, the briefs work in that story because it helps him be more relatable, because he's got that visual flaw. A fact about humanity is that we associate imperfections with vulnerability, and we like vulnerability, like it helps us relate to people a lot. And those briefs provide Superman's vulnerability on a visual level. That actually relates to something I saw people saying. They said the briefs stop them from relating to Superman. And I just kind of feel like if these red briefs stop you relating to Superman, you never related to him to begin with. You just thought he looked cool, and you've confused the two. You've got this character who, over the past 80 years, has been in a number of stories, displayed a number of emotions, been put in a number of situations, and you're saying what stops you from relating to this character that is one of the best known characters in history is a pair of red briefs. You don't relate to him at all if the briefs get in the way. Like I said before, the visual flaw brings him back down to reality. The briefs provide a visual flaw, ground the character, and allow us as the readers to open up to Superman a lot more and allow us to enjoy the stories a lot more. With this being said, a lot of people don't like opening up to characters for some reason. I've never been able to relate to that, but if you do feel like that, just try opening up. Just try it. And if you don't like that, there are tons of other comics coming out that you can read that don't have red briefs. With this being said, Everyone's gonna have their own opinion, and that's totally fine. My intention isn't for this video to come across as, your opinion is wrong because relatable. Sometimes you just don't like something because you don't like it, and sometimes you do like something because you do like it. There's not always a deep-rooted issue there. Sometimes you look at it and just go, I don't like that. The briefs are my preference for all of the reasons I've listed above and more, and also, I just think they make Superman look sexy. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna make that this video's title. So all new Wolverine 33 and 34 is gonna feature a story called Old Woman Laura. It's set in a world where mutants did make a difference and she's moved on from being Wolverine, but something has called her back to the mantle and she has to save the day. First of all, I have to say, All New Wolverine is one of my favorite books to read from Marvel. I don't read it monthly, I just let it stack up and then I just binge it. I never really liked X-23 growing up, but now like I'm older, I read her stuff and I'm like, oh, I get it now. I've gone through experiences where I can relate to this. With this being said, Laura's involvement is not the part of the story that excites me the most. Part of the story that excites me the most is that it's set in a future that doesn't suck. I hate that no matter what, if we get a story that's set in the future and it's about mutants are dead, or they're nearly extinct, or they're fighting for their lives, and there's like no hope left, like they need to go to the past to fix everything. Like, why can't they make a difference? You're having us read these characters, become their friends, because that's the intent of comic books, believe it or not. The intent is to make you feel like these characters are your friends. And so you feel like this for these characters, and then you see their future and everything sucks for them, and like, that's not good. As a person that had no actual friends growing up and only had the X-Men, it really messed with me when their future like always sucked. I'm really excited to see this world where mutants did make a difference and they are embraced. And also, I just kind of feel like this would be a good story to get people back into Marvel. I think it comes out in like March or April, and Marvel is changing its direction as of that month. They're sort of going in a more DC-like direction, I want to say. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is they've cancelled a lot of books that have gay characters in them. I'm like, Marvel, you've got to fix this, but this story looks good, but you've got to fix the gay character issue. But yeah, between Superman's briefs and a future that looks bright for mutants, I'm excited about comics. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. So what do you think of either of these stories? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to all of my social links. Check out my Patreon if you want to support the show. Also, I have a PayPal donation link. Please check out either one of those because it really helps. But for now, my name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.